Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and going over the 3 secrets to them winning the Super Bowl in the upcoming season. But before getting that topic, question for those of you viewing, where do you rank Tom Brady amongst QBs today? More the question is, do you still think he's top 5? I don't expect you to give me his exact ranking of 3 or 4 or 6 or 7. Just tell me, is he still a top 5 quarterback in the league? Comment down below and I'll give my answer at the end. But getting straight into it, Buccaneers, just going back to back is very hard in the NFL as far as championship runs go. We saw Mahomes almost do it last year. He failed. Last time it was almost done. The Seahawks, Russell Wilson, he failed. The last time it was actually done, I believe the exact years were 03 and 04, and guess who was done by? Tom Brady. So if there's one cat to pull it off in the last 2 decades, since it hasn't been done in the last 2 decades, it would be Tom Brady, but it's easier said than done, and that's why I'm going to go over the 3 secrets they need to make it happen. Secret number 1 is just staying healthy. I know that's not a secret, but still, this team got lucky last year bringing in all these older guys and none of them getting banged up. Tom Brady's going on 44, Gronk coming out of retirement, Antonio Brown coming out, O.J. Howard got hurt, Rojo gets banged up. Yeah, they won without O.J. Howard, and they did fine without Ronald Jones, but I'm still saying this team at some point or another, they got some older bones on this team, no doubt, on the defense. Ndamukong Suh's not the youngest. Levante David, you could already feel, is passing the baton to Devin White. Do I think he's out of his prime just yet? No, I think he's still got 2 to 3 good years left, but he's still not 24, 25, 26 anymore, where he's just indestructible. Same thing for Brady, same thing for Gronk, same thing for Antonio Brown. These cats are not in their exact primes anymore, and one hit, one tackle, one sack, one catch, anyone could get hurt in the NFL, and I just think it's at a higher risk with so many of these guys being older. Again, it might be a Captain Obvious secret, that's for sure. I mean, no team wants their star players to get hurt, but I just wanted to go over more specifically because the older guys that is relied on this team, like again, Brady, Antonio Brown, Gronk. Not that these guys are 74, but still they're definitely out of their primes compared to a Devin White, Antoine Winfield, Chris Godwin, Playoff Lenny, Tristan Wirfs, Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea. These guys are in or entering their primes. Therefore, the rest of the guys, JPP, also, you could argue is a veteran that's up there. These aren't the youngest, and they do need to protect their body. So injuries is going to be secret number 1, is just staying healthy this year. Number 2 on the list, the second secret is Tom versus time. Tom Brady needs to continue to show he cannot age. And I know a lot of people, even me, it's like that cat is just not aging. He's 44. No one's played this long before at this high performance, but it happens quick. Peyton Manning, he went from setting the all-time number 1 offensive record, most yards in a single season, most touchdowns in a single season, 55 touchdowns, to 2 years later being, I don't want to say forced out of retirement, but being very clear he needs to retire, being carried to the Super Bowl by that defense, throwing absolute ducks. Drew Brees this last year, he had a very efficient year, but come playoffs, he was looking rough. He didn't have the deep arm, or he didn't have the arm strength to throw the deep ball. That's why they had to bring Jameis Winston in on that trick play against them in the Bucs. He was just throwing 3 picks that game. He didn't have the arm. He didn't have the youth. He didn't have the health. He just wasn't in his prime. And Brady, as it seems like he's defying that at some point in time, whether it be this year or in 6 more, it's gonna happen. I don't know when, just because I didn't expect it to make it this long, but he needs to continue to show for this year, especially if we're gonna, make secrets for them to win this year, especially he needs to stay. I don't want to say young, because it's clear he's not 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. He's not even in his young or late 30s anymore. He's in his mid 40s. He needs to show he can still play at the same level as 10 years ago. He's doing just fine. And with the roster around him, a top 10 O-line, a number 1 receiving group in the NFL, in my opinion, top 3 at worst. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tony Brown, Robert Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, Scotty Miller, Tyron Johnson. What are you missing there? To me, that's a top 3. To me, it's top 1, but I'll take top 3 just for the sake of argument. He's got the weapons. He's got the protection. He's got the defense to rely on. Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, JPP, Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, Carlton Davis, Sean Murray-Button, Antoine Winfield Jr., Jordan Whitehead, Jamel Dean. He's got the team to do it, to battle this time, Tom versus time, but we need to still see that he could do it, because at any moment, any game, any series, any playoffs, any season, I do think it could just come up on you like that, like Peyton Manning, like Drew Brees, or it happened Justin Payton in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs at the end of the season. Drew Brees, we saw it at the very last game. any moment, time could catch up versus Tom, and we'll just have to hope it does not for his sake. Secret number 3 is a 2-1 secret because I don't think either are big enough to shine the spotlight on as a secret. But the run game and the secondary need to keep up with the rest of the roster. Not saying the run game and secondary suck. Not saying that. But if you look at the rest of the roster, you got Tom Brady, the GOAT. He's one of the best in the league. A top 10 and up-and-coming offensive line, especially Tristan Wirfs. The receiving room, I just said, is the top one in the league. Pass rush, you could argue they have the best front four in the league. Not saying they do, but it's good enough to make the argument. And Devin White, Levante David, you could argue that's the best linebacker core in the league. However, the secondary and run game, not bad, but I do think the other positions on this Bucs team are a tier above them. So we need to see the run game and the secondary get to that level if you want to win back-to-back Super Bowl. Run game, my only problem with it is who's the number one guy. They brought in Giovanni Bernard to crowd up the room more, and I get it. Each guy kind of has their role. Leonard Fournette, he's a power back. Giovanni Bernard, he's a receiving back. Ronald Jones, he's kind of a balanced guy. He could do both. He's just kind of whichever you need. He could be the third down back. Playoff line, he could be the third down back. Whatever it is, they need to find the perfect roles to where there's no arguing, there's no shining of the spotlight being taken or given too much to one guy or another. They need to have their defined roles. If Leonard Fournette's a starting guy, Ronald Jones is number 2, and Giovanni is number 3, that's fine. But it needs to be solidified, it needs to be known, and they need to serve that role well, and it needs to keep up to par with, I'm not saying, since you have the number 1 receiving group in the NFL, you need to have the number 1 running back in the NFL, but I'm just saying it needs to be an efficient run game that is not dragging down the Bucs. They just need to keep up par. They don't got to top Tom Brady's level performance or output. They don't got to top the receiving group's output or top the defenses and front 4 and front 7's output, but they need to show they're not holding them back, and the same thing goes to the secondary. I like it. Antoine Winfield Jr. was just a rookie, and he's amazing safety in the league. Carlton Davis is on the come-up. Jamel Dean's great. Sean Murray-Bunting, Jordan Whitehead. It's a good secondary, but the pass rush is much better. I believe the duo of Devin White and Levante David are a much better duo than any duo you want to make out of the out of the secondary. Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield Jr. would probably be your best duo, and it's a great duo. It's up and coming, but I'm just saying front 7 and front 4 are better, and that's why this is a 2-1, because I don't think knocking their secondary, knocking the run game, each are big enough to really contemplate or be condescending or be negative towards the Bucs. I think they're both great, but it's hard to win back-to-back Super Bowls. That's why I'm being so nitpicky. I already think the Bucs got a ticket to the NFC Championship, just assuming that the other two work out, assuming they're healthy, and assuming Tom Brady's the same he is. But to pull off back-to-back Super Bowls, it hasn't happened in 17 years. There's been 2 chances between the Seahawks and between Mahomes, and they both been stopped by Brady. However, Brady may be the guy to do it, but he needs everything around him to go perfect. That's just how hard it is to go back-to-back. You need to be absolutely perfect. In the NFL, there's so many variables between the front office, the coaching staff, the quarterback, the running back, the offensive line, receivers, tight end, defensive line, linebackers, secondary. Every spot, every spick and span needs to be spot on, and therefore, those are the 3 secrets for me for the Bucs to go back-to-back. They need to be perfect. Just to go over it again, they need to stay healthy. It's number 1. Number 2, Tom needs to not slow down. He needs to not lose the time for at least one more season. And then the third one is the run game and the secondary need to be on par with the rest of the team, or just keep up with the rest of the team, just not hold them back. For the main part, do you guys agree or disagree with my secrets? I know a lot of these aren't secrets because they're the Buccaneers or the reigning Super Bowl champs. What else do they need to go right for them? But I love talking about the Bucs, so I just wanted to throw it out there. So let me know, do you at least disagree or agree with my takes as to what they need to win this year? And referring back to the question of the video, do I think Tom Brady is still top 5 in the league? It is so hard to say the greatest player of all time is not top 5. It depends how you ask it. Like, if I'm building a team today, if I'm a franchise, I'm a GM, and I get number 1 pick overall or top 5, one of the first 5 picks overall, and I'm obviously going to take a quarterback, I'm probably not going to pick Tom just due to age, but if it was a 1-season thing, you got to make 1 run this year or a 1-game thing. I like Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes at the top, and then I like Russell Wilson, and then I like Deshaun Watson. And at number 5, who do you take? Do you take Josh Allen? Do you take Tom Brady? Do you take Lamar? It is so hard for me. I might be a little biased, and I'm going to throw in Tom Brady at the 5 spot, just above Josh Allen, just above Lamar Jackson. It's close. You could ask me tomorrow, and I might change my mind, but just in the mood I am right now, I got to say the GOAT is top 5. It's hard for me to put him out there, but you guys tell me, do you agree or disagree, or just tell me where you got him. You might have him bottom 5 for all I know. I want to hear from you guys. I love hearing your opinions, your comments, your takes, And be sure to comment down below because I'd love to reply and get back to you guys. But as always, and of course, that's the video. Thank you for watching it.